Hello and welcome to the Hobby Corner. My name's Kev and today we're going to be looking at this bad boy. Right, so let's have a look and see what's inside. So first of all, I've got this nice shiny mag, but we'll get back to that in a moment. Let's have a look at the miniatures, the sprues themselves. So we've got some Gene Stealers, pretty cool. I've had Gene Stealers before. From the Space Hulk game, the second edition, but the first release of that edition. These look different. Cool. Look at the space though, the gap in between each miniature. That really ages it. What year were these pressed? 2004 for the Gene Stealers. Wow. Okay, so that's nearly 20 years. How long? 2000 for the Hormagaunts. Wow, I feel ancient now. Jesus. But again, look at all the space in there. Now, what's really, what's a kind of a bonus but a hindrance as well is when it comes to mold lines, what do you prefer? Them kind of almost not being there but still there, but more difficult to remove, or them being very visible but easier to remove. It's tricky, isn't it? As you see, the mold lines are a lot more prominent with these older sculpts, but over the years they've drastically changed this. But I mean, it's still a lot cleaner. I think with the newer mold lines, they're a little less noticeable if you miss them. But yeah, anyways, we've got all the weapon options as well. I've got a Ripper, so for the Ripper Swarm, and here is the Brood Lord as well, which was made in, I guess, 2013. Blimey, I remember when that was released as well. So yeah, that's a big chunker of a mini as well. So I'm really looking forward to doing these because the Tyranids I didn't actually paint, I just put together for Space Hulk because you didn't need to, it was coloured plastic. So this will be interesting. Now, let's clear this away. The book. This is the second part of the exclusive content of the premium kit. So let's have a look and see what it has inside its pages and if it's going to add to the value at all. So, we have the first page on Tyranid bioforms. Everything in a Tyranid invasion is a living being, from monstrosities the size of starships to small creatures fired from living weapons. All are driven by the commands of the almighty hive mind. Pretty cool. So we've got a nice little battle between the Eldari, aka Eldar, and the Tyranid swarm there. It says, when they attack a world, they unleash wave after wave of predatory life forms, each adapted to fight and overwhelm the various types of opposition they face. In battle, leaping Gaunt forms race ahead of towering Carnifexes and other gigantic monsters, whilst flying bioforms soar over defences, cutting down all defenders at will. They're basically the front lines to soften up the defences, get in there, get rid of all resistance, and then they start chewing up all the biomass from the planet, dumping in these massive bioforms which suck it up into these huge towers that reach out into space, and then of course the hive fleets drain all the bio mass through that like a giant straw. Also, without the hive mind being connected through these larger creatures and the synapse creatures, they have no will. A lot of them don't have a will of their own, so they just go into a mad bestial frenzy. And then it's got like a nice little picture of what looks to be the hive fleet. And then of course we've got the bioweapons. So Tyranid weapons are living organisms. They are attached directly to the body of the host Tyranid, forming a symbiotic bond between the two bioforms. So it's not even part of their body per se, it's another creature that's just attached to them. So we've got the spine fist here. It connects directly to the host airways, and it shoots poisonous spines. So it's like a fancy blow dart. You got a devourer. A devourer is connected to the nerve system and is triggered by bioelectric pulse. It fires parasitic worms that eat into the victim's brain. That is brutal. We've got a flesh borer. It has a nest of eggs inside with borer beetles, and they just shoot them at you. Alright, cool. And then of course you got the living organisms that they are shooting at, because of course the ammunition is, you know, living stuff. You got High Fleet Kraken, which is one of the well-known high fleets. It absolutely done in the realm of Ultramar. So, but you know, they fought back, beaten back. But yeah, it's a pretty nasty one. And then of course we've got Broodlord Psychic Leader Beast. Broodlords are the mightiest of the Gene Stealers and lead them in their ambushes. They are hulking killers with bodies of rippling muscle and monstrous rending claws that can tear through Space Marine armor as if it were paper. Carapace plates for, you know, extra armor. Chitinous exoskeleton because, you know, you want to be tough. You got monstrous rending claws. Ovipositor tongue. Okay, it injects its DNA through the barb of its tongue in order to, you know, infect the victims with Gene Stealer DNA. Okay, so that's how you get your hybrids, the Gene Stealer cults. And then of course a capillary tower. This is a small version of what I was saying, those massive bioforms which are used like giant straws essentially. And then of course it comes with a battle record as well, so you get to give it a name. Okay, it's specialism as well, like enhanced synaptic node or hypnotic mind control or terror inducing aura. It has a hive mind imperative which you can give it, a genetic substrain, like can mimic human voices, which is freaky as hell. Enhanced intelligence, why not? Perfect night vision, of course you're going to give that. It's got evolved adaptations and a record of battle as well. And then of course you got your Gene Stealers, blade-limbed predators. The Gene Stealers are part of the Tyranid vanguard. Sent ahead of the main high fleet, they infest prey welts, giving rise to the Gene Stealer hybrids and ultimately summoning their Tyranid kin to sweep in and consume all. So that is essentially it. So smaller versions of the Broodlords. It does say they got brood telepathy, which means that they can function on their own. They don't need to be connected to the hive mind in order to be about their business, which is what makes them such an effective unit. And of course you get your battle record. They have a legacy of terror, the sewer scourge. I get that. That's not so. You got the butcher bugs. Oh yeah, the murder roaches. Alright. And of course they got their imperative, the substrain, and then lethal biomorphs. Of course you got the acid maw and the flesh hooks. Record the foes that have fallen to those. And then of course you got your record battle as well. And then we got Termagants, the living swarm. Fast and agile, Termagants are amongst the smallest of the hive mind's warriors. They scurry about the battlefield on four legs, whilst unleashing torrents of deadly fire from their anti-personnel biological weapon. Q. So again, you got your three options there. And they come with a Ripper Swarm as well, which often follow the Tyranid advance. Feasting on the bodies of the dead and wounded, they will attack creatures many times their own size, tearing their flesh with razor sharp teeth. Little buggers, little chest bursters.
Oh no, not again.
And then of course you got a fear-inspired name, or blood locusts or blaster bugs. Okay. The victims of each weapon, depending on which one you go for, because of course as a unit they need to have all the same weapon. You either got biomass consumption for the Ripper Swarm. We have a hull to build. They're quite easy enough to build. So just follow it if you're not too sure. Make sure you've planned out what upgrades you want to give them. So read through the stat sheets first. See what you would rather they're equipped with, and of course you've got ball joints. Remember that, so they're very posable. And then of course painting them is quite easy as well. Just lots of white, and then just dry brushes and shades. Pick out the carapaces, highlight them, do some fancy dots if you want. Paint in the little bits and pieces, and you don't have to do the colour scheme if you don't want. You could go for various different ones. I'm sure you've got enough different paints by this stage that you could make a good variety of it. But chances are you might not be able to finish painting off this colour scheme at this point, because you might be 1 or 2 paints away from what you need if you are just going from this collection. The finished gallery, ooh, very nice. And then that's how they all look together as well. Pretty cool. Infestation nodes, that's what they're called. Very interesting. Now the data sheets. This is for you guys who are more interested in stats than just the building or painting nonsense. So let's just breeze through it as quick as we can. Okay, now we're on to our scenario. Secure the Archaeotech. On the planet Tragus, the Adeptus Mechanicus has discovered the ruins of a near intact Necron structure. The Archaeotech contained within could be key to ensuring the Imperium's victory in the Pariah Nexus. Unfortunately, the Necrons are not the only Xenos threat lurking in the shadows. So a little bit on High Fleet Kraken and what they're doing in Tragus. Secure the Archaeotech. Alright. So, you disturb a nest of Tyranids. Oh dear, oh dear. They're all swarming out to get ya. Must defeat them to get those tasty techs. So the mission is you have 4 infestation nodes as objectives, and you place them on the board as shown on the map. You destroy them by being the only unit within 1 inch of the node. The action is successfully completed at the start of your next command phase, so you have to stay there the whole time without the enemy reaching it. The objectives is destroy the nodes. The Mechanicus player gets 5 victory points for each node that's destroyed, and the brood persists, so the Tyranids get 5 victory points for each node that remains on the battlefield at the end of the game. You either save 3 or you destroy 3. 2 is a draw. The Tyranids have their Broodlord, the 8 Gene Stealers, the 12 Termagants, and the 1 Ripper Swarm, whilst the Mechanicus has the Dominus and the Enginseer Tech Priests, 10 Skitari Rangers, and 3 Cataphron Destroyers. Very, very tasty indeed. You might not be able to play this as and when you receive this mission, but I'm sure in the following delivery you should get the miniatures. And of course the paints that you need to finish painting these off. Remember that the premium kits are supplemented to be played at the end of the series. So you'd play through the whole 80 issues and then you come back to the premium issues and play through those, because by then you'd know about commands, traits and all that other stuff. We know Premium 3 gets the Tau, which I think is a more interesting set as well. This Fire Warrior kit has changed a lot since it first came out. They've added like this little tower thing. You've got this chap here. It was always and look, even the style of the drones is different as well. They're basic gun drones. You get 3 stealth suits as well. That's really cool. And then of course Premium 4 you get the orcs. So there you have it. And there we have it. So yes, it's old kits, quite old, some 20 years old, but it's still a nice variation. It breaks up everything, and of course you got something to look forward to at the end of the collection, to have a nice big playthrough with all the rules that you learn throughout the series. But let me know in the comments below what you think. Do you think it was worth it for that extra money? Do you think it's not worth it for the extra money? Do you think it's worth it just for the extra hobby even? Again, it is a discount if you work out the retail to how much you end up paying for this, but the true value is quite subjective. So I'll leave that to you guys in the comments to discuss and hash out. Anyways, as always, if you want to help support the channel, you get your issues at the link in the comments, and don't forget to check the links in the description as well for my social media links, and especially the Discord link where you can join an amazing little corner of the hobby community. So without further ado, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Big love, stay safe. Peace. Oh, and big thanks to these lot as well, you beautiful legends.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime guy.